Welcome back to Ancient Mysteries Unveiled, your weekly dive into the hidden truths of our past. I'm Speaker 1, and with me as always is Speaker 2, ready to peel back another layer of accepted history. Today, we're returning to two of the most captivating and highly debated subjects that constantly flood our inbox: the enigmatic Anunnaki and the pervasive history of giants. These aren't just ancient fables. They are narratives meticulously preserved in various texts and interpreted through different lenses that profoundly challenge everything we thought we knew about human origins, ancient civilizations, and even our prophetic future.
That's right, Speaker 1. It's crucial to approach these topics with an open mind, understanding that much of what we discuss comes from specific interpretations of ancient texts and goes far beyond mainstream historical consensus. Let's begin with the Anunnaki, a name that resonates deeply within alternative historical and spiritual circles. In certain profound interpretations, they are actually equated with the Elohim themselves, powerful entities mentioned in early scriptures.
And beyond that direct connection, Speaker 2, Sumerian mythology, a cornerstone for many of these theories, depicts them not as mere humans, but as seraphim, striking dragon-like entities with immense power.
More broadly, across various ancient spiritual frameworks, they are often identified as a type of fallen angel, a rebellious faction cast out from a higher divine order. Visually, what's remarkable are the consistent ancient carvings and depictions that show these beings holding a distinctive pineapple-like pine cone in one hand and a little purse or bucket in the other, symbols whose true meaning remains a subject of intense speculation and study.
Indeed. One of the most widespread and influential theories, popularized by Zachariah Sitchin, proposes that the Anunnaki are not just divine beings, but are, in fact, the creators of humanity.
This provocative theory suggests that before their intervention, mankind existed as a sub-humanoid species. These Anunnaki, understood as the Elohim, descended to Earth in spaceships, engaging in a form of genetic manipulation or breeding with these early inhabitants to create the human species as we know it. This premise is vividly explored and widely promoted by popular series, such as Ancient Alien, which often serves as an entry point for many into these profound concepts.
And the timeline for this purported intervention is incredibly specific, placing their involvement in a prior time between 13,000 and 15,000 BC, predating the melting of the last ice age. This advanced civilization of Anunnaki is often credited with feats of engineering that defy our modern capabilities. They are said to have constructed megalithic, cyclopean structures, massive stone formations of incredible weight and precision, along with intricate temple complexes and pyramids that are inexplicably aligned with stars. This suggests a level of technology and even a faith capacity, a profound understanding of universal principles that remains completely beyond our replication today. And a chilling aspect of this belief is that upon their prophesied return, these beings, with their advanced knowledge and power, will be worshipped as gods once more by humanity.
However, Speaker 1, our sources also present a powerful counter-narrative, particularly from the ancient Book of Enoch, which is presented as the oldest known text. This narrative directly refutes Sitchin's creation theory. Enoch clearly states that mankind had already existed for many generations from Adam before the fallen Watchers, a group that, in this context, is seen as distinct from the Anunnaki of Sitchin's creation theory. These Watchers are depicted as spiritual Elohim entities who rebelled against the Most High, Yahweh, and then came down and took human women as wives. This union led to profound genetic corruption among humanity.
So rather than being humanity's benevolent creators, the Anunnaki, or fallen Watchers in this perspective, are described as angels who rebelled against the Most High. As a consequence of their insubordination, they were cast down, cast out, and exiled here to the earth, and are portrayed as beings filled with immense anger and resentment. This sets the stage for a great contest, an ongoing hidden war among these rebellious gods within what is vividly described as a prison world. In this confined reality, these powerful rebellious entities continue to vie for control and exert their influence over mankind. Figures like Azazel, often identified with Satan, are explicitly blamed for introducing much of the evil and sin into this world.
It's a truly stark contrast, isn't it? This brings us seamlessly to the history of giants, as their very existence is intrinsically linked to this initial angelic incursion and genetic alteration. Our sources suggest that before our current 7,000-year creation, Earth experienced a prior state of destruction, referred to as tohu bohu. These giants were not merely tall, but proportionally massive, with some descriptions noting characteristics like double rows of teeth and a hairy appearance. Beyond their immense size, these Nephilim were not mere brutes. They are described as powerful warriors, influential leaders, and tyrannical kings who also effectively controlled the priest class in the pre-flood world. This led to the widespread rise of mystical religions and cultures governed by inherited ruling classes believed to be descended from these fallen angels. Humanity, disturbingly, was willingly complicit in this corruption, eagerly accepting forbidden knowledge from the Watchers and engaging in extensive species blending, including animal-human hybridization. The Nephilim themselves became increasingly tyrannical and vociferous, devouring everything in their path, eventually resorting to the horrific practice of cannibalism, even devouring their own children.
And it wasn't just physical corruption, Speaker One. The Watchers in the rebellion disclosed forbidden knowledge to humanity, leading to what our sources call high technology in the pre-flood world. This advanced civilization constructed the same megalithic, cyclopean structures, temple complexes, and pyramids aligned with stars that we previously discussed in connection with the Anunnaki. These constructions demonstrate a technological and faith capacity that even today remains beyond our ability to replicate. Examples include the Gigantica monuments on Malta, aligned with Sirius, and Adam's calendar in South Africa, which predicted equinoxes. There's even compelling speculation that these pyramids functioned not just as monuments, but as battery stations or integral components of an ancient wireless electric grid, indicating a lost understanding of energy and physics. Some sources even suggest Cain, though not explicitly called a giant, had a seraphic appearance at birth, and his bloodline might have been reptilian or possessed by ancient fallen seraphim.
The widespread corruption and pervasive DNA cross-pollination among all of mankind, with the sole exception of Noah and his immediate family, eventually culminated in the Great Deluge. This cataclysmic event was God's direct judgment upon a world utterly defiled. Noah is described as being pure and righteous in his generation, while all of mankind, save Noah, became polluted. A significant consequence of this judgment was a drastic reduction in human lifespan, from nearly 1,000 years down to approximately 120 years. The fallen Watchers themselves were judged and imprisoned in abyssal realms, like Tartarus, described as a pit prison. The sheer scale of the destruction is estimated that the flood killed a staggering 409,000 giants.
But here's the unexpected twist that explains the continued presence of giants after the flood. The Nephilim genetics are theorized to have been carried forward through the women on Noah's Ark, specifically his 3 wives. This meant that while Noah and his sons were considered normal males, the latent genetic code for giantism could have been passed down through the female line, allowing the trait to resurface in later generations. The idea of a second angelic incursion after the flood is deemed patently absurd given the severity of the flood's judgment. However, some ancient figures, like Og, the king of Bashan, are mentioned as powerful remnants, though some accounts of his immense size and longevity are sometimes considered Jewish fable or exaggerated.
This theory perfectly explains the persistence of giants after the flood. Post-flood, numerous giant tribes emerged, particularly linked to Ham's lineage, and especially his son Canaan, whose descendants, the Canaanites, were consistently singled out for utter destruction by divine command, due to their deep corruption and Nephilim nature.
And the list of post-flood giants is indeed extensive and fascinating. The Philistines, descended from Caphtor, another son of Ham, gave us iconic figures like Goliath and his brothers. These giants were famously known for having 6 toes, 6 fingers, and double rows of teeth, with Goliath himself estimated to be between 9 and 18 feet tall. Interestingly, Greek mythology is said to originate from Crete, where the Caphtarim settled. The Anakim, descendants of Arba, were renowned for their immense size, often compared to towering cedar trees. Other formidable tribes such as the Amorites, Hittites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites were also widely recognized as giants and descendants of nations not completely destroyed by the Israelites. King Solomon himself reportedly conscripted these giants into his labor force for monumental projects, like building the temple. The Hittites are particularly intriguing, associated with animal-human hybrids, as depicted in ancient carvings showing beings with human bodies and animal heads, or human-goat hybrids known as satyrs. Even Nimrod, though not born a giant, is presented as having become one through a form of post-flood genetic manipulation, transforming into a powerful tyrant. He is widely considered the basis for the Sumerian Epic of Gilgamesh, a narrative that prominently features demigod giant kings. We also hear of the lion men of Moab, described as having the body of a lion with the head of a man, serving as special forces or kingsguard.
Human-goat hybrids, known as satyrs. Even Nimrod, though not born a giant, is presented as having become one through a form of post-flood genetic manipulation, transforming into a powerful tyrant. He is widely considered the basis for the Sumerian Epic of Gilgamesh, a narrative that prominently features demigod giant kings. We also hear of the lion men of Moab, described as having the body of a lion with the head of a man, serving as special forces or kinsguard for Antiochus Epiphanes IV, even carrying out torture. This further supports the prevalence of animal-human hybridization after the flood. And the Horim, described as hairy cave dwellers, are possibly connected to the Nephilim concept. Some folklore even connects Gog and Magog, identified as giants from Japheth's line, to the builders of the Great Wall of China, which would be an overkill if just to keep out 6-foot-tall invaders. The influence of these beings, both the Watchers and their Nephilim offspring, extended far beyond the physical realm, deeply shaping the spiritual landscape of ancient civilizations. This led to the widespread prominence of polytheism, the worship of multiple gods, and Gnosticism, a dualistic philosophy that often saw the material world as inherently evil. Greek mythology, for instance, is presented as holding hidden spiritual secrets, where the entire Greek pantheon, Kronos, Gaia, Zeus, Apollo, and others, can be understood as spiritual beings, some of whom are in fact imprisoned, reflecting their rebellion and judgment. Even modern medical oaths, like the Hippocratic Oath, are noted to invoke these ancient Greek deities.
And terrifyingly, the disembodied spirits of these killed angel-human hybrid Nephilim are said to become demons, roaming the earth without physical bodies and constantly seeking human forms to possess. This ancient history, therefore, isn't merely a relic of the past. It carries profound prophetic implications. Prophecies, disturbingly, point to pregnant women giving birth to monsters in the end times, indicating a return or continuation of genetic corruption reminiscent of the days of Noah, suggesting a cycle repeating itself.
It truly brings us full circle, doesn't it? There's also the profound concept of an externalization of the hierarchy by 2025, where the sacred hierarchy of fallen ones, or gods of the Council of the Gods, will become far more visible, resembling the pre-flood era when both humans and giants walked amongst us. This suggests a future where these powerful, rebellious entities are no longer hidden, directly interacting with humanity once more.
However, fully grasping this complex history is made incredibly challenging due to what our sources describe as a hidden history or fabrication in the construct of history over the last 2,000 years. This suppression is often attributed to powerful groups like the Royal Society, initially created by Rosicrucians and Freemasons who sought to control education and deny God's credit. As a result, significant archaeological finds of giant remains are often scooped up and buried to prevent public discovery, maintaining a narrative that suits those in power.
It's a powerful narrative of suppressed knowledge, ongoing spiritual conflict, and a cyclical history that seems destined to repeat. It underscores the critical importance of re-examining ancient texts, questioning official narratives, and seeking out these deeper truths about our past and our prophetic future.
Fascinating, illuminating, and incredibly timely, Speaker One, and a testament to the enduring power of these stories and the continuous, often challenging, search for hidden knowledge.
Indeed. Join us next time on Ancient Mysteries Unveiled as we continue to explore the depths of our hidden history, always seeking truth no matter where it leads.